2023, what an year. It was the year of AI. It was the year when app developers got a lot of new toys in the form of AI tools.
2023, OpenAI's ChatGPT is everywhere now, with Bard and others becoming the talk of the tech town.
2023, the year when generative AI became the new bestie for content writers.
2023, thousands of tools launched, transforming jobs from call centers to support.
2023, where GitHub Copilot and a lot of similar tools stepped in to write flawless code.
2023, where AI-generated art became mainstream. Ooh, exciting year, Varun.
Wow, what an year, man. Like AI everywhere.
Absolutely. So
Right.
I just wanted to ask you a question. In this year, 2023, how are you using AI?
Oh, how did I not use AI, right? I used AI to write code, obviously. I used AI to crush my LinkedIn content game. I wrote so many articles, so many, really good posts on LinkedIn, right from, creative writing, informative, with a lot of information, bullet
Yeah.
points, essays, a lot of things, right? I used AI, like I said, coding is something that we all do at Cortas, right? So, I wrote code in Golang. I wrote code in Ruby on Rails, which I've never done before. So, that's something I did.
Correct.
And
So now we are all experts in
we are
all
experts in
languages.
anything. Like you ask me to write some crazy language tomorrow, I'll probably be able to write code in that as well, right? And all thanks to GitHub Copilot there. Like I have been a very big fan of GitHub Copilot. I use it a lot. I use it every day. So that's something that's absolutely cool.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, one more use case where I've used generative AI a lot is writing user stories, scope documents, proposals, and everything of that sort, right? Which I hated doing before this, because it was just writing stuff. But now it's very easy. I have to prompt something, and that's how I
So
get it.
not just code, but everything else as well.
Everything else, yeah. Anything that I need to write, I go to ChatGPT.
Correct.
And it's not just writing though, right? There's also this aspect of brainstorming new ideas.
Correct.
So if I have a new idea and I want to actually conceptualize it, I use ChatGPT sometimes as a brainstorming partner, right?
Yeah.
And I'm able to brainstorm a lot of new ideas. But that's what I did, right? I would like to hear about some things that you did with generative AI.
Right. So from a learning and development perspective, what we were doing is, so a lot of emphasis is given on clean code in Coritas, right? So we all love our clean code.
Right.
So we had started out a clean code, and we still do a clean code certification course, where the challenge was that around 40 or 50 people who used to submit their assignments to us, and getting those assignments checked was a huge deal, right? So getting time from leads, getting them do the checking of assignments and everything. So when ChatGPT came out, we were onto it. We were like, okay, can we build out a tool that can check our code and assess clean code?
Yeah, I remember we did that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we had this tool built up, and now the time has gone down to like 2 minutes per assignment.
Awesome.
And now we are like in an hour or two, we are done with all the checking of the assignment. And that is done, right? So one more use case that we used ChatGPT or GitHub Copilot was where we wanted to create code snippets for people who for people who were learning new technology.
Right. Okay.
And that became so easy that earlier I used to have to brainstorm those ideas and then write that code, test it out,
Right.
all of those, right? And then also make sure that it is written cleanly.
Correct.
That became instantaneous.
Right. You just prompt ChatGPT
and I
awesome.
get it.
Yeah.
Right. Third way that
for those who don't know, Anirudh heads our learning and development team. So he has to write the same code snippet in 4 different programming languages so that he's able to explain the same concept to 4 different sets of people.
Correct.
Right?
Absolutely.
So go on.
Right. You must have seen that on every Wednesday we post a very small micro learning video, right?
Yeah, on Slack. Yeah, we get Slack. That. Yeah.
Right. So what we used to do earlier before ChatGPT came in, we used to basically have a lot of people come in, do the narration part of it, and then we used to give it out to the editing team to get it done.
Correct.
What we are now doing is we just are recording the screen, we are creating the script, feeding it to AWS Polly, and we are done with it. We just
AWS Polly. Do you want to talk about what Polly is?
So Polly basically takes in that text, converts it into a very human-like voice. So it basically feels like someone from Coditas, whom I don't probably know,
Right.
is reading out the script,
Okay.
right? And then we basically have it edited. So a lot of time was saved for all of this, and now we are able to roll out microlearning every single week without any gap. Earlier, what used to happen was there were if we didn't find anyone, we used to skip that week.
Right, right. So now you don't skip it.
I
That's
don't.
how we are getting those
Right,
videos on Slack every week.
right.
That's awesome. Awesome. So you were able to just write the script, and I'm sure you're using ChatGPT or some
Absolutely.
other
Absolutely.
AI tool for that. Write the script, pass it to Amazon Polly, AWS Polly,
Yeah.
get an audio out of it. Did you clone someone's voice, or
No, we did
no?
not
You just
clone
use the
someone's
default
voice,
ones. Yeah, I could
but
make
but
that.
we could
Yeah,
do that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Awesome. That's amazing, right? So that kind of tells you about where we are heading, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And one thing that I wanted to talk about is the untapped potential. There are a bunch of tools that are coming up that use AI, right? And where people are using it only for um, text to text generation, as in
Correct.
you
Yeah.
put in a prompt, you get something out, or text to audio
Correct.
generation, right? So in generative AI, people are largely using the generative part of it. But the point that I have always been fascinated about is me being someone who does not understand machine learning, right? I do not
Right.
have a lot of background in machine
Yeah.
learning, right? Now I have started reading concepts. I've started understanding more about machine learning. But a year ago, when ChatGPT came out and OpenAI came up with the APIs for ChatGPT, right? My initial reaction, and I still believe it, like more than the generative part, I like the AI part of it, right? Like
Right.
for example, imagine I had to build a sentiment analysis app for App Store reviews I get,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So the traditional approach that I would have had to generally take is I would have to get a lot of sample data, train my model on this particular statement is a positive sentiment, this particular statement is a negative sentiment, build an entire model and train it, right? That itself would take some time. Then I would have to deploy that model into production, test it, and do all of that, right? So that would have taken 3 to 6 months easily, right?
Yeah.
But now with ChatGPT, it's just an API call away,
Correct.
right? All I have to do is pass the sentence and say, is this positive or negative?
Correct.
Right? What's the sentiment?
Exactly.
And I get a response, right? So
Exactly.
AI has become so accessible now, so accessible, and that's why we are getting so
Yeah.
many tools, right?
Yeah.
So many thousands and thousands of tools.
Right. Right. Earlier, it was only academia that used to
Correct.
use
Correct.
AI or ML models,
That's right.
right?
That's
And
right.
now everyone has
Everyone
access
has
to
access.
ChatGPT,
Exactly.
right? What I think is that language itself is now becoming the new coding, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
that is kind of crazy to think that
Correct.
from a syntax-based language to going to a natural language kind of a code,
Correct.
that has become extremely easy to
Yep.
use.
So
right?
if you can speak English, you can code.
Correct.
Or in fact, if you can speak any language,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? Like you can prompt your LLMs, Chat GPT, GPT-4 for sure, in
Yeah.
a lot of different regional languages now,
Correct.
right? Indian regional languages.
Correct. Yeah.
So you can just prompt, and I was hearing someone talk about how they taught their mom to use ChatGPT in Marathi,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So they ask recipes in Marathi and they get responses about that in Marathi. So GPT-4 can do regional Indian languages also
Correct.
really well. So I'm sure we can use that to the same regional Indian language prompt to write code as well.
It's just
Right?
crazy to think
Exactly,
about.
exactly, right? So if
Very-
you can speak Marathi and you can understand the basics of software, you can write code now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anyone can write code. So it
Correct.
is like anyone can cook.
Exactly.
Anyone can write code.
Exactly. Right. So
So instead of just, just doing this, can we actually go and do something? Let's build out something. Let's use
sure,
a tool
sure,
that you
yeah,
might have used.
absolutely, sure. We can definitely build something. So one thing that has been on the radar for me, that one thing that I've been following is, our government's going to get involved with AI, right?
Yeah.
Is AI going to be regulated, right? So that is something that again, we don't want to get into the nitty gritties of it. That's a totally different topic, and we'll probably do that some other time. But what I would want to do today is let's build a website where people can come and sign a petition to actually, request governments to get involved and regulate AI.
Yeah.
Right?
We don't want it to go the Bitcoin way.
Of course, absolutely. Right. So let me just, yep, I have my VS Code open. I have my GitHub Copilot installed. So Copilot recently launched this, new way to prompt it. So it's no longer just suggestions.
Correct.
I'm sure you have seen it, right? So it's no longer just suggestive code. You can ask it, you can prompt it to write code and it will write code.
Right.
So, build a HTML website to, ask people to sign a petition to regulate AI. Use, oh, okay. Use Tailwind CSS. Tailwind CSS is a popular CSS library, so I don't have to write CSS at all.
Do you know Tailwind CSS?
I don't. I've never used Tailwind CSS, right? I've been using Bootstrap. I know basics of Tailwind, but not enough to be able to build a website, very easily. I can, of course, refer to documentation and do it, but yeah, right. Use Tailwind CSS. Also, write necessary content. Use image placeholders where required. Okay, I'm prompting it. Let's see what it does, right? So, it's writing the code for me, right? So, wow. Yep, there you go. Yep, it created a small website for me. I save it. I go to my browser. I go to localhost 8000. I think it's 80. Yep, test.html, and boom, there you go.
Boom.
We have a right. So a developer would require some more time to build it. Of course, this is still a very small example, but
some more is kind of a exaggeration, but it would require at least 1.5 hours.
Yeah,
and this was generated in like what, a minute?
A minute, probably less than a minute, right? So now, but that's not it, right? Here there was no context.
Correct.
It was just my prompt.
Correct.
But if it is within the context of your code base, it is able to understand things a lot better and generate code that is even more better, right? Even more meaningful. Correct. Right. So let's see. Let's maybe, help us ensure responsible and ethical use of AI technology. Name, email, message, sign petition. I don't know why it took 2022 as the copyright year though, right? So let's see if we can fix that, right? Change the year to reflect the current year. Use JS to make it dynamic. Let's see if it does. I don't know if it was going to be able to do it, but let's see. It did something. It added a footer, it gave it a ID, current year, and yes, I think this should work. There you go.
Yeah.
Right. So
probably you can also ask it to have a background image.
Yeah, we definitely can. What background image do you want?
Maybe something related to AI.
Yeah. Add a background image from Unsplash. Make it something related to tech and AI. I don't know if it can do this. I've never tried this. Let's see. It did something. Right. So Unsplash is this website where you can search from any category. So it says tech, AI, and it will get a featured image that is tech and AI. Now, boom, there you go.
Whoa.
Right. So it's not very relevant to what we wanted, but it was able to do something. Right. So if you actually have a good image, you can, just change the URL, and someone who understands code, for them this is an absolute game changer. Right. They can, they can 10x their productivity. We were talking about this yesterday, right? Like anyone who writes code, who understands, any software developer must have this, and with this they can 10x their productivity. but enough about just code generation, right? I want to know more about how you used AWS Polly to do the micro learning content stuff, right? So can you give us a demo on that?
Sure. Right. So let's go to AWS Polly. For this next micro learning, what we are planning to do is we are planning to do a little bit of CSS.
Okay.
We are working around the padding property.
Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
this is mostly for people who are not into front end but want to get into front end. Right.
Got it.
So there is a very small snippet that I want to show you of how we are doing the text to speech.
Okay.
So this is a very small sentence from the script that we have.
Okay.
And if we go and take a look at it, so I want to produce a more natural human-like
Okay.
speech.
Okay.
So there are a lot of other
Ways of doing it. Got it.
Right? And I can go and choose a lot of other languages.
Got
Right?
it. Okay.
So if I go and say English Indian, and I for now I just have this one
Kajal. Okay.
Kajal,
Okay.
right? And I can go and say that, okay, I want to listen to how it sounds.
Okay.
The padding property in CSS controls the space between an element's content and its border. Imagine a picture frame. Padding adds space inside the frame, around the picture. You can set padding for all sides individually or with one
The
line for
Indianness
all
of all
sides.
sides individually.
Right.
Right. So that's nice.
Right. So
Right.
so even if you understand that this is AI, someone who might not know will
Right.
feel that, okay, there's some person from Coritas who's reading this out
Correct.
in a very robotic
Correct.
way. But
Correct.
yeah,
Right.
it gets
Right.
the job done.
Correct.
really
Absolutely.
efficiently.
And that's how you're able to crush so many micro learning
Correct.
videos and
Correct.
have everyone go through it.
Right,
That's
and
awesome.
it can
Yeah.
also do a long story. So we had a use case where the micro learning was like 5 minutes long, and the script was huge. Right. So
Wow.
if you
Okay.
go and take a look, there is a long form as well, and it reads it out really beautifully.
Nice.
Right?
Nice.
So it is a crazy thing to do.
That's amazing, man. And so there is this so based on the examples that we just saw, right? So there is this scare around, will AI take my job, right? So
Yeah.
so let's maybe take a minute to talk about that. Like, will AI really take your job? My opinion is that it probably will not if you're using AI. If you don't use AI, then you will probably lose your job to someone who is actually using AI.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So, use AI is all I want to say, right?
Yeah.
So,
Productivity matters, people.
absolutely. Absolutely. Cool.
Right. So we took a look at Copilot. We took a
Right.
look at text to speech.
Correct.
Right, with Polly.
Correct. Yeah.
There is a huge thing happening with DALI, right? With image
Yes.
generation as well.
Yes.
Let's build out something that is really awesome.
Yeah.
Or really funny, probably.
Yeah. So we can use DALI to generate really crazy images. Do you have something crazy in mind? Let's actually go there. Let's just
Sure.
have some fun. So this is something that I keep doing a lot of times whenever I meet with friends. Just last weekend I was in Bangalore. I met my cousins, uncles, aunts. We all just got together as a family get together, and we actually tried generating crazy images, right, with DALI and Mid Journey, right? And this technology amazes so many people. My grandfather was amazed by, he was not able to comprehend the fact that how is this happening, right? I'm saying something and it's appearing. How is this even happening, right? So it has been crazy. So do you have something crazy in mind?
All right. The World Cup just concluded. Maybe we can make India win.
Yes. Yes. An image of the Indian cricket team
winning the World Cup.
Yeah, winning the 2023 Cricket World Cup. Let's see what happens. And this is also another, very, interesting topic of, the deep fake kind of things, right? So that is also, something that is, disturbing in some cases, and funny in certain cases as well, right? So disturbing in the sense that, oh, there you go. So let's talk about deep fakes and then get back to this. Right. So I have seen cases like you did the voice thing, right? So with Polly, there are cases where people are actually able to clone voices. We did that for one of the demos we did, and that was because it was a requested feature where we were able to clone the voice of a particular client, we have to show them that, look, uh, we made it look like you recorded this video or you are speaking here, but whereas you actually did not, and it sounded exactly like them, right? So we were able to do that. So that is good when we have consent of people, and things like that. But if it is used for, a lot of bad use cases, there are a lot of bad actors, obviously, right? Wherein you get scam calls of, Amitabh Bachchan's voice cloned, and
Yeah.
you don't even need people for that now.
Absolutely.
It's very easy to clone Amitabh
Absolutely.
Bachchan's voice now, right? So
Right.
yeah.
Right. Same goes for models, right? So you must have seen that Instagram model that made
Yeah,
$11,000
exactly,
a month.
exactly. Yeah. So there's for people who don't know, there's an Instagram profile where the entire profile is of an AI model, and that AI model posts videos, posts photos with captions, and that AI model got brand deals and is able to make so much money on Instagram right now. And it is, of course, there's a human behind who's making the AI model do it, but the photos that are posted there are of a fake person. That person does not exist.
Right.
Right. So yeah.
So there was
Scary.
also a case with in the chess world where cheating using AI became so
Correct.
so common.
Interviews that we take, right?
Absolutely.
We have to be double sure,
Correct.
right? Like, chess is, of course, where, especially if it's played in a open this thing, then
Correct.
fine. But online interviews when we take,
Correct.
Guessing whether the person is actually speaking by themselves or using an AI is, again,
Maybe the future is proctored interviews.
right? Seriously. Yeah. So okay, anyways, I think we are digressing. Let's get back to having some fun. It said champions, which is, again, AI is not always able to get text right, but
Correct.
sometimes it does. I was actually able to uh, create an entire PPT with some text in the images, very little text, for the previous NG Pune event we had, right? So all the images I used DALI to generate those images, and it had some text, and those texts were readable actual English words, right? Which made sense.
Correct.
Let's see if we can get it to spell the word correctly, or do you want to do something else? Yeah.
We can do something else. Nina,
Okay.
you have any ideas?
Uh, okay, yesterday I had a dream because I am a music into and I love to learn various kinds of music instruments. So I had a dream of a room full of world's top class instruments stored there. So can we generate a
Yes, let's make your dream come true. So Ninad is our cameraman here, and he had a dream yesterday that he owns a room full of beautiful, expensive musical instruments. He's also a musician, so let's make his dream come true. Let's create his room. Uh, an image of a room filled with high class, expensive musical instruments. Let's see what it does. So these are really simple prompts I'm giving. If you actually put your mind to it, and you actually generate more detailed prompts, you get better, more detailed images, right? So prompt engineering in itself is a
Correct. Communication is now going to become a really needed thing, right?
Not so much, Anirudh. See, so what you can do is you can actually ask it to create a prompt. Right. Let's actually do that. Let's write bad English and ask it to create a prompt.
Let's try that.
Yeah.
Let's try that.
Cool. Ninad, your room is here, man, and it looks amazing.
Amazing.
Right?
It really does.
Yeah, there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, many violins or violas or whatever you want to call it. There are 2 large pianos and so many other things. The walls have trumpets. The walls have everything. Let's see. Let's say this is missing a drum set. Right. So it remembers, right? So it has context. So there it is, the image with a drum set as well. Ninad, if you build this room, I'm going to come and stay at your place.
Who wouldn't?
Right. Awesome. Yeah. So let's try a wrong English, so someone who doesn't really understand English that well, and they want to prompt it for generating an image of an office space where people are working with their pet animals, right? So
Cool.
the peoples are work at office with their pet animals. Okay, I have purposefully made mistakes here.
Yeah.
So, with it should be THEIR, and the grammar Nazis will go crazy here. But just bear with me. ChatGPT helps everyone. I don't know. I should have said image.
Images.
Yeah. Oh, but it understood,
It is
right?
still
So,
creating an image.
yeah, it will create an image. Let's see what it does. Right. So let's also see if we can do one in regional language.
Sure.
I hope it gets this right, but one other thing is, there are a few LLMs focused on this, or you can actually even use a wow. Okay. Right. So
Right.
what I was trying to say is, you can actually use ChatGPT to write your prompts.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can actually, use the same thing and say, write detailed image prompt for me, and you just paste this, and yeah, imagine a bustling blah 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 blah. Oh my god, see,
Wow.
it was able to do so much for me, right? So and oh wow, it's still writing. Okay, let's see what image this generates just for fun. Pet friendliness is at the forefront. Various descents and genders engaged in their work, accompanied by their among busy office workers. Variety of pets add unique heartwarming. In the background, there's a designated pet area equipped with toys and comfortable resting spots. This is a perfect blend of professionalism and a warm pet friendly atmosphere, illustrating an ideal work environment. Okay.
Right. So the better your prompt is, the better your image results are.
Generate an image for this. Let's see if it can. I don't know. I've never tried such a detailed prompt before. Right. After this, let's also do a regional language one.
Cool. Yeah.
Right. Do you want to try the same thing in the regional language?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Let's actually do a restaurant instead of Marathi. Let's do Marathi.
Sure.
Yep. There you go. Who wouldn't want to work here, right? Right. So I'm not a native Marathi speaker, but translate this to.
Maybe we can get that wrong.
Yeah, I'll do that. Translate this to Marathi. People on the street, people eating vada pav. Let's stick to stereotypes. Marathi means vada pav. People eating vada pav at street side food vendor. Street side food vendor. Tea stall in background. लोक रस्त्याच्या कडेला असलेल्या
खाद्य विक्रेत्याकडे वडापाव खात आहेत. मागील भागात चहाचा स्टॉल आहे.
Create image, right? And I paste the Marathi text. Let's see if it is able to do it. Okay, it is of course, trying to create an image, but I have never tried this before. Right? I would be, like blown away if it can get this right.
And I think it would.
Yeah, even I think so. Wow, look at this. This
Crazy,
image is crazy. Does it not look like a street in Pune?
Absolutely.
Right? It does, right? So there's
even the board and the detailing.
So many details, right? So there's two kinds of vada pav and there are vadas hanging, which is weird. But overall, I think this is epic.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you want to try something else?
I actually want to go and try out the capabilities of Copilot. Let's go into
we are. As in, I also want to, but we are almost at time. So let's do that in our next video.
Absolutely, yes. Probably we should go and do that the next time. Please go and like and share and subscribe to our channel and keep watching.
Yeah, and see you in our next video. That is, if AI hasn't taken over the world yet. Right? Signing off.